Welcome to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome aboard. It's our weekly movie show. We are trawling the bottom of the Netflix stream and we are trying to bring up some hidden gems in our net.
That's what we do.
Or on our rods.
Did you do a really long ahoy to try and fill some time because this might be a really short episode?
I'm going to say yes.
Good.
It could be.
It could be.
But it could be
quite
a long one.
Quite a long one.
Because I don't know what we're going to do.
I don't know what we're going to do either. Shall we just get into it and see what happens? This week we watched a Taiwanese horror movie called The Bridge Curse. It is on Netflix really randomly. It was released in the year 2020. It's a 15. Runs for 1 hour and 28 minutes. Currently rated at 5.2 out of 10 on IMDb. Thoughts on that?
Judging it against some of the other ratings we've had for movies, I'm not IMDb ratings, not our ratings. I actually think it's a bit on the low side.
I agree. I was thinking exactly the same thing. At this point in the show, I would normally go through the cast and give you their character.
Oh, yes, please.
I can't do that this week.
Unacceptable.
IMDb don't have character names.
Yeah.
The end of this film doesn't list character names. It just lists you a list of actors who are in the film. And nobody seems to have a name in this movie. So
they do. There is a scene near the end where the reporter sort of lists names on the photo.
Yeah.
But I'm not writing them down at that point. It's literally the penultimate scene.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have a few names which I don't want to offend anyone if I've got them wrong, but I think I've named
there's a couple
most of them.
There's also, in the credits to this movie and on IMDb, only 6 people credited in this entire movie.
Okay.
There are more in this movie, but for some reason they don't.
Just no credits.
They don't get credit.
Okay.
So the people in this movie are called Ning Chang, Cheng Ko, JC Lin, Summer Meng, Vera Yen, Wanru Xian. They're the only people credited. There's more than that in them, and I don't know which one plays which character.
Okay.
Can't help you. This film was written by Ken Ming Chang and Po Sing Ho.
Okay.
And directed by Lester Shih.
Nice.
Lester Shih has no further credits before or after on IMDb.
It's a recent movie.
It's a recent movie, but he's also, I imagine, an adult. So he would have done stuff before, but this movie has no internet presence.
Yeah.
There's nothing about this movie anywhere.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It's completely devoid
you get
of
anything on the internet.
I imagine maybe on Chinese internet there's stuff about it.
Yeah. What's Chinese Facebook? Is it Weibo?
Weibo, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I bet they're absolutely all over it.
I bet they are. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's
a ghost story.
It's a ghost story. It's a ghostly. We don't do many ghost stories on the show. We've done a couple of horror movies. We've done quite a few horror movies.
We've done loads of horror movies. I would
done
say
many ghost stories.
Yeah, not as many as you might expect.
No, not in this sort of vein anyway.
Yeah.
Like the ghosts after you.
Yeah.
Children. Not children. Teenagers. It's a ghost going after teenagers.
Yeah.
Let's try and do it. The reason we're struggling is because, like we said, there's no names. There's no dub. And the movie is very, very, very poorly subtitled.
I would say that this is an extremely rudimentary subtitle.
It feels like
job.
It's been put into Google Translate. It's the
clunky.
words that are coming up on the screen are not what these people are saying. I can be pretty confident on that.
I mean, I said before we came on air, I think if this was an incredibly well-written movie, I wouldn't know because
we cannot judge this movie on its writing.
Learn Mandarin. I think
we can't judge this movie on its writing. That's for sure. We can judge it on everything else, but the dialogue's clunky. But that might be down to the subtitles.
Yeah.
Not only that, the subtitles move around the screen.
Oh, it's really annoying.
Yeah. So sometimes they're at the bottom, sometimes they're at the top.
Yeah.
And every time I looked away, it seemed they were somewhere else, and I was like, "Where are the subtitles gone?" So I'm not under any illusions that I've missed maybe quite a lot of this movie.
Hopefully, we can piece it together.
And then it had a really
together
complex twist at the end, and I was like, I'm not on board with this because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, me too. I was like,
I still don't really get it now, I don't think.
I think I backtracked and got it, but the impact of it was lessened, it was non-existent by me trying to, the dramatic music is telling me I should be shocked by this twist, but to be honest,
I didn't really understand it.
I think I kind of cracked it a bit before, but
yeah.
And then there's a couple of credit scenes which I really not sure about.
Oh, well, I didn't even. I didn't stay around that long. Sorry, I didn't stick around that long. Do you have a one-word review?
Made in Taiwan.
Made in Taiwan. It was.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
where does this movie start, Nick? After the 8 different production companies are listed.
Well, actually, just before we get to where the movie starts, I do have a note on the numerous production companies listed.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of done in a first-person Resident Evil horror game style, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You like walk into a door of a bloody creepy room.
Yeah.
And all these different production company logos like are sort of
scrawled
projected on the walls. Or have been written in horrible scratchy handwriting on the wall, and then the door just slams on you, and I was like, oh, okay,
getting into the movie from
right.
there. But yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it was decent.
Something a little bit different.
But there are 8 production companies.
Yeah, it goes on for ages.
I don't know how that's happened. But then after that, where does the film start?
This movie starts on the 28th of February 2016 at 11:59 p.m.
It does indeed.
Because the screen tells us. Because we are watching handheld phone footage of a courage test.
Yes. That's basically what this film is about.
Yeah.
It's about a courage test on a bridge in Taiwan.
On a university campus.
At a university campus. A very sparsely populated university campus.
I'm glad you've noticed this, because
it was actually briefly mentioned in the film. That,
Yeah.
why we come to university in a ghost town, I think somebody said.
there's no one in
No,
this
it's completely
university
abandoned. It's like these kids have just...
at any point.
No.
And I'll say now, this movie happens over a few different time periods.
Yes.
And there is no one ever in this movie.
No.
Not even... no effort to put any background actors
No,
in at
there's
any
no
point.
extras.
No.
There's no Captain Expositions.
Yeah.
There's nobody in this movie.
Yeah.
So the premise is that this bridge is called the Female Ghost Bridge. Again, I don't think it's called that. I think that's just what the subtitles called it. If you cross this bridge at this point in time, then the ghost is going to get you. That's basically what's happening.
Kind of. I mean, we see this phone footage first, don't we?
Yeah,
Of some ghostly happenings, and the rules were quite complicated.
Yeah.
And that again sort of lessened the impact of these ghost things happening in this footage. So I kind of just gleaned at this point that the ghost comes out when the people reach a certain point on this staircase.
Yeah.
And only if they turn around.
Yeah, so if you climb the staircase during the day, there's 13 stairs.
Yeah.
But if you climb it at midnight at this sort of time, there's 14.
Yeah.
So when you get to the 14th step, if you turn around, the ghost will be behind you.
Yeah.
And she is many times during this movie.
Yeah.
And that's basically what this phone footage is showing us. This kid's counting up the stairs, gets to 14. Something then happens because the phone goes all scrambly and they just all run off. And then we're at...
4 years later.
4 years later, 28th of February 2020.
Yeah.
We'll notice that there's 3 time periods, 2012, 2016 and 2020, all leap years.
Yeah.
That's why this happens at this time, is
Sure.
because it's the leap day, as they call it. We then find a little bit of history on who the ghost is, on this female ghost on this bridge. It turns out it's a girl, well, we told at this point that it's a girl who was stood up by her boyfriend, so jumped into the lake and drowned.
Yeah, and we find this through a news report.
We do.
Because we join, in 2020, a lady who is on campus, sort of saying it's 4 years since this, the last
all these kids
year.
went missing. Yeah.
And she's kind of, we learn, don't we, that she is a reporter who used to be an anchor woman.
Yeah, she's
and has
just
been
like
demoted to like locations,
scary pieces.
Yeah.
Websites.
Yeah, and we find that this is where we learn some of that stuff, that the bridge is haunted by this ghost girl. An extra step appears on the staircase at midnight, and don't turn round.
Yes.
Or she's after you. The lady tells us that all 5 students involved 4 years ago died.
Yep.
I've just written in capital letters, cover up or ghost suicide.
One or the other.
Yeah.
And then it hits the title card. And then we come out of the title card and we find some students at this college. They look like they're making like a movie at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they were, but they were definitely filming. They were going to go and do this courage test, and they're filming the lead up to doing this courage test.
It was like they were prepping for it. So it's back to 2016, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's and it's a mixture of them recording their footage in 2016, but then occasionally, when the narrative needs it to, the movie pops out, doesn't it, into a real movie?
Yes,
so to
absolutely.
speak. Yeah.
So they're talking about doing this courage test. Again, I can't tell you if we meet any characters. We do.
We've got Sanu. She
okay.
was, I would say, the lead girl.
Yeah. She the one who was doing like Facebook Lives and things.
Yeah, she's
Not
the
Facebook,
one who's
but
boyfriend of G.
I've called. Do you know what I've called those two?
Yeah.
Girlfriend and boyfriend.
Okay, that's fine.
That's their names in this movie for me. She basically starts live streaming on some sort of social media platform. She's interviewing the people who are going to be involved.
Yeah.
Basically trying to get some sort of reaction.
They're trying to, get some
footage.
Momentum of this event. We're going to do this courage test tonight at midnight. Yeah. Everyone tune in.
Yeah, basically.
Influencer type stuff.
We then cut back to the news reporter. She's trying to interview a security guard about what happened.
Yeah.
So at this point, we kind of realise that she's in the future and they're in the past.
Yeah.
And that's how this movie's going to.
And he tells her that we never quite. This is quite interesting because we never see his face. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to be recorded."
Doesn't want to be filmed. He doesn't want to talk about it,
which is useful for later on. And
yeah,
he says, "All those kids 4 years ago, they all drowned."
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, what, on the bridge?" No, they were all found drowned in different areas of the university.
Yeah,
bit weird.
That's a bit weird, and that's what we're gonna see if we can see. We then cut back to the students on the bridge. They're all kind of arguing. They don't really want to do this. Nobody really wants to do it, but they're going to do it anyway. They sit one guy on a chair, blindfold him. He's the guy who's going to go first.
Was he?
I think he'd just been volunteered to go first.
That didn't really come across.
No,
he didn't. Chosen or yeah. But yeah, he's in the chair.
Same idea as before. He's going to climb up the stairs, count the steps. Then it turns out it's the same people as the opening scene was.
So I think we're re-seeing the opening scene, but not just through the phone footage.
Yeah, we're seeing it from like the film cameras as well now. He kind of vanishes on the stairs.
But just before that, I think it's Sanu. She finds like an old note on the bridge.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it seems to be the essence of the ghost.
Important.
It does seem important. It's like it looks like a bookmark. It's like a long, thin piece of paper or card with written stuff on
instructions.
And it appears a couple of times during the film.
But to me watching it this again, whether it's something because of the subtitles, I was, from what my eyes saw, I was led to believe there was some significance to this note, but from what the movie told me through the subtitles, it was never mentioned that it was important in any way.
In my head, I've deduced that the removal of this note from the bridge is the reason why the ghost left the bridge also.
Okay.
That's how my brain's rationalised
like the spell keeping her there.
Basically,
yeah.
Okay. That's how my head's rationalised.
I can go with that.
Anyway, this guy vanishes. A fake ghost appears on the bridge. Somebody's playing a practical joke on them. Basically, some fake ghost just appears.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a practical joke or they'd set it up as part of their rig.
Yeah, maybe.
Rig.
Yeah.
They've got like
just to scare somebody.
Yeah.
That's a sheet.
Drops
basically
down from the trees,
that drops out of the
doesn't it?
trees. But then a chair does really start moving on its own, which really freaks them all out, and they all run off.
And they all turn around.
They all turn around, yeah.
Yeah.
And the ghost isn't there.
Right, but this chair starts moving around.
Yeah.
And one of them even says, "Oh shit, did we just turn around?"
Yeah. But we've left one guy on his own. This guy who potentially vanished a minute ago.
Yeah.
He didn't vanish. He's still there. He gets scared. He drops his phone on the bridge. But
that's after they've gone.
Yeah, that's after they've gone. That's what I mean. So they've all run off.
Away,
he reappears from wherever he came from. He drops his phone, but he daren't turn around. I quite like this scene.
This was good. This was a good scene.
He can't turn around, but he has dropped his phone back down the stairs. So he slowly walks backwards towards it. And then he can't find it, so he asks Siri where it is.
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite clever.
Yeah, and
so
he's like, turn up the brightness.
Yeah, so I can see it and hear it. And then just before he puts his hand
back down the
stairs.
Yeah,
he does, yeah. And he's getting towards it. And just before he puts his hand on it, you see the ghost's foot standing on his phone.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was really clever. And then the ghost grabs his shoulder.
He turns around, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
And the ghost
grabs his shoulder, and we don't see him again for a while. We then follow the rest of them. They get back to their college dorm rooms, which look like abandoned dorm rooms that nobody's been in for 40 years.
They look like the same set of that. What was that really boring German film we watched about the haunted dorm rooms?
Oh, Room 205?
Yeah.
Was it German?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does look exactly like that.
And again, I can't stress this enough. there's no
Nobody
one else here.
Yeah. It does get mentioned at one point. It's like, oh, why have we come to university in a ghost town? Or somebody has that line.
Yeah, at
And
least
it's
that's
like,
a knowing line
Yeah.
of like, oh, we can't afford any extras.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
There's it's always nighttime in this movie. So you can understand why the college area where sometimes they go into some of the classrooms, why that would be deserted. But the dorms should be thriving with life, but they're not. There's literally nobody else there. Two of these kids are having a secret fling that nobody knows about.
It's because, so G is now with Sanu, but he was previously with Sin Chao.
Okay. Yes.
And they're
correct.
keeping their quite new relationship
a secret. Yes. So they decide to go back to look for the missing guy who's called Wen Yao.
Yeah.
Those two decide to go back to find him. Basically, they've deserted him on this bridge. They need to go and find out where he is.
They were like, oh, that was scary. Oh, shit, we should go and check on our friend.
Then there's two girls.
Plus all the gear's still on the bridge.
Oh,
like
yeah, all the cameras.
and
They left him to tidy that up. So they thought. Two girls are then in their dorm room on their own.
So that's Sin Chao, and I didn't get the name of
Yeah, it began with a Y. Yang Chi or something
the
like
other
that.
girl. I apologise.
They're in their dorm room, and then suddenly the door slams open.
Yeah.
And they go out to check it out. There's nothing there. And then there's a guy having a poo.
Well, just before that,
Oh.
as Sanu and G are walking back to the bridge, they're checking their phones, and this video of their courage test, I wouldn't say it's gone viral, but it's getting a lot of views.
Yeah, it's already
and there's
got
comments
views,
like, "Oh, I can see there's a shape, there's a white shape, you can see
yeah.
the ghost," and they're like, "Oh, this is weird." And yeah, at this point, like everything just starts getting haunted.
Yeah.
So like the two girls who stayed behind, like you say, there's creepy doors shutting.
The ghosts followed them back to their dorm
Yeah.
rooms.
And then the one guy who's on his own because he's gone for a shit.
Yeah.
Just like everything's the sinks are haunted all of a sudden.
I really liked this sequence.
It was a good sequence.
I really like. I think it might be the best bit of the film. So we meet him, we see him on the toilet.
Yeah.
Someone comes in. He can hear it from outside the cubicle, but there's nobody there. He looks down on the floor. There's no footprints. There's nobody there. Then somebody starts banging on his cubicle door.
Yeah.
And he looks under. No, there's nobody there. So he's freaking out. He starts freaking out at this point. He gets his phone and he puts his phone under the toilet cubicle door to take a photo.
Yeah.
To see who's on the other side of this door. And as he does that, something grabs his hand and pulls him up against the door. So he properly freaks out. Then he jumps out of the cubicle. He's still completely on his own in this toilet. When he turns the corner, all the taps are on in the sink.
Yeah, and they're right
at overflowing level. So he goes to turn them all off and accidentally drops his necklace in the water, or something he was wearing around his neck in the water. And he dives his hands in to get this back and pulls out loads of hair out of the sink.
Like he lives in my house.
Really? Is it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, a clump of hair out the plug hole, and yeah, it's creepy. It is creepy.
It is creepy. And then he can't see, but there's something standing behind him. We see a glimpse.
There's a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, we see over the shoulder of these characters.
And then he's starting to look around a little bit, and then something from behind grabs the back of his head, and he really freaks out at that point. And then it drowns him in a bucket of water.
Yeah, this haunted bucket had rolled across the floor earlier.
So it was a bucket that had rolled empty across the floor, and then it was on the right way up, and it was full of water all of a sudden. And then this ghost just drowns him in this bucket of water.
And he struggles.
I think that whole sequence was it was a proper good horror movie.
It was, yeah.
And it actually was quite spooky.
And it was well shot.
It was well shot, and it might be the best bit of the movie. But yeah, I thought that was a really good little bit. That's the sort of scene that's going to scare people who don't watch many horror movies.
Oh, there's also a haunted ceiling tile, because that moves as well, and he looks up at it.
Yeah, you're right. I've even written here that sequence was actually good.
Yeah, drowned it in a bucket.
Yeah. So he's the first one we've lost. Then we go back to the reporter.
She's got a tip off about some monks.
Yeah, she's watching some YouTube videos and things like that.
And she's watching a video about some monks who are kind of doing their own version of this legend of this haunted bridge.
Yeah.
And they basically say, if you're killed on a leap year, as in the leap day, 29th of February, then you're trapped in hell forever.
Oh, I completely missed that. I didn't get that at all. Okay. That's quite a scary concept.
Yeah.
I don't like that idea.
And And there's something about ghosts looking for replacements for them and things like that.
Oh, right, okay. No, I've missed all of that.
Yeah.
The reporter's watching their YouTube videos from 4 years ago.
Yeah, she's going like frame by frame on the footage.
And you can see the ghost in the footage, as these comments were saying earlier. You can see that. Then the boyfriend and girlfriend, they get back to the bridge.
Yeah, back to 2016.
Yeah, we're back in 2016. At this time, this jumps in time all over the place, and it is quite complicated to figure out where we are. They get back to the bridge. The camera's still there. It's still on the tripod. Still hasn't been set up, so they start packing that up. Wen Yao, though, isn't there.
Yeah, so G rings his phone.
Yeah, he's like, he hasn't even texted me. This is really unusual for him. I'll ring him. And he rings his phone, and his phone is still on the bridge.
Yeah.
Left on the bridge. So they start freaking out.
They find the phone. It's covered in ghost jizz.
Yes.
There's a lot of ectoplasm.
Yeah, there's a lot of ectoplasm in this movie. That you're correct. And we then come back to the reporter. She's now checking CCTV footage
from the dorms
to see what they were doing in and out of the dorms. And then the boyfriend and girlfriend also do the same thing. They're
back both doing the same thing
at the same time, 4 years apart. They go and check the CCTV footage to see if Wen Yao ever did come home, which he didn't. Then we have another toilet scene. The girl now decides she needs to go to the toilet.
Yeah, so the two girls who stayed behind, they also need to go to use the bathroom, but they decide they're going to a different bathroom because they don't want to meet the guy who they know is in the bathroom.
Yes. So that guy's dead now.
Yeah.
So what we've got is a couple, the girlfriend and the boyfriend, they're together.
Yes.
We've got these two girls that are together, and we're missing Wen Yao. He's missing somewhere.
Plus
then you've got the reporter in the present day and the dead guy in 2016. That's where your characters are at this point.
The reporter has a cameraman with her, we should say that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The two girls go off to the toilets together. They go to separate toilets, as Nick said. One of them's in the toilet doing her business, and she can now hear someone else in there with her.
Yeah.
She thinks she's obviously been pranked by the other girl. She's not, but we'll find out why in a minute.
Oh, I thought she was. I thought initially.
Oh no, you're right. Initially, she was pranked. Yeah, her mate
was pranking her by rattling the doors and stuff.
Yeah. I've written here. Then we get a bit of exposition on the bridge, which we've already had. We already had all of this, but it expands on it. So the girl was not only the female ghost girl she was stood up by her boyfriend, and did drown in the lake.
Yeah.
But in between those two things happening, she was raped by 5 men.
Yeah, took into the woods and raped.
Raped by 5 men, and then they drown her. And that's why she's a bit more pissed off than I thought. Because I did think, why is this girl pissed off if she's drowned herself?
And then we're told for about the 4th time, at midnight, an extra step appears on the staircase. When that does, don't turn around or you're cursed.
Yeah, so we get told that again. Like, we've been told that a lot now. We keep getting told that. We never actually go back to the bridge for the rest of this movie now. The ghost then appears on the CCTV to the girlfriend.
I quite like this, but it made no sense.
Yes.
So Sanu and G are in 2016. They're looking at this. They're looking at the CCTV footage of the dorm, and Sanu can see the ghost slowly getting closer and closer to the camera. And eventually it's right up in the camera. I thought it was quite a good scare.
Good jump scare, yeah, it was.
But only she can see it.
Yeah, the boy doesn't see it.
But that doesn't make sense.
No,
because that's not a problem. That's not a feature at any other part of this movie.
Is it explained by the ending?
I'm not
No,
sure.
I don't think it is.
That at this time only
the
ghost only wanted him to.
Yeah, maybe it was all in her head.
I don't know.
Who knows? But anyway, yeah, the ghost makes a jump. My next note says the girl in the bathroom has a dirty hand. So this is the girl who was doing the prank.
Yeah.
She's now in the bathroom alone. She's touched something in the bathroom that's given her hand a dirty hand.
I just presume it was ghost juice.
It was like ectoplasm.
Yeah.
She can't get it off. There's black liquid all over the floor that's like seeping through the doorways. And then the guy who drowned earlier is standing behind her.
Yeah, so he's now a ghost zombie.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, so she's like...
And he's all like...
crooked and his neck's all at a funny angle.
In the wrong direction.
Yeah. He's standing in this black puddle. She obviously doesn't twig that this guy's dead, but when
he comes out of the shadows.
When he comes out of the shadows and comes at her, she runs like Billy-O. Then the couple, the boyfriend and girlfriend, leave the CCTV room. They get in the lift to go back up to their dorm.
And now the ghost is everywhere at once.
Yeah.
Because now the lift goes haunted.
Yeah, it does, because they press to go up and they end up in the basement. And then when they do go up, it stops on the second floor.
But still, only Sanu can see the ghost.
Yeah, because she sees it in the mirror of the
Yeah.
lift, and she legs it out of the
And he's like, "What's up with you?"
Yeah. The reporter is now investigating in the dorms. Remember, she's 4 years ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
The dorms seem to have been abandoned since this incident.
No change whatsoever.
No, there's even the stuff. The ectoplasm's still on the walls. That bookmark thing's still on the floor. Nobody's been in this room for 4 years.
Yeah.
She says she's not feeling well, but then nothing ever comes of that. She starts to go. She just investigate. So she's investigating the dorm at the same time. 4 years ago, the girl who lives in this dorm has gone back to this dorm, and she's investigating. So she hears a noise up towards the ceiling on the top of the bunk beds. So she goes to climb the ladder, and as she climbs the ladder, something grabs her leg.
It's a bit of a fake out, isn't it? Because she gets to the top of the ladder, and there's a sheet in the corner of the top bunk.
Yeah, so it looks like something's under it, but there's not.
But the fake out is she gets grabbed on the ankle.
Yes. So she hides on the top of this bunk bed under this sheet, and the ghost is on the ceiling above her.
Yeah,
that freaks her out. She sees
and it's
that.
like in 2020, the where the ghost has been is like burnt into the ceiling.
So she freaks out when she sees the ghost on the ceiling and falls off the bed. But she's locked in the room with it. The door gets locked. But then her mate comes along and rescues her and gets her out of this room.
She does, but while she's locked in the room, our 2020 reporter is also in that room having a look around, and she finds that note.
He does. Note. Yeah. This is what makes me think that was what's brought the ghost here.
Yeah, now you've said that, it makes quite a lot of sense. So it's like this. You can always imagine it having on it, "Do not remove
from the bridge."
From the bridge.
Yeah.
So everyone just takes it. Of course they do.
Yeah. Yeah. So her mate gets her out of the room and they run away together. The couple are still looking for Wen Yao, and they're now searching through the classrooms at the college.
Yes.
So
I don't know why they. Oh, excuse me. I don't know why they suddenly thought he'd gone back to a classroom.
No, but they did.
That were all shut up. And
I don't know why they split up at this point. No. So they go and investigate different classrooms.
And it's like a textiles type classroom, isn't it? 'Cause it's full of mannequins.
Full of mannequins and mirrors.
And dummy heads and stuff like that.
Because that's a scary movie. Yeah. The boy of the couple sees Yen Mao. No, that's not his name. Wen Yao. In front of him. So he goes to chase him, basically, to like, what the fuck? Why are you hiding from us? Leaving his girlfriend behind.
Yeah, they get split up.
Yeah. The ghost then kind of follows her a little bit and tries to scare her a little bit.
And it kind of jumps from mannequin to mannequin.
Yeah, so all the mannequins are coming to life.
Yeah, there's one point when the ghost's face is on... You know, when it's a mannequin, it's just shoulders.
Yes.
So you can practice... It holds wigs. And you can practice hairstyles. The ghost's face is just on that. And that was quite cool.
Yeah, it was just on one of them, because there was quite a few lined up and the ghost was on the end of him. That was... it was another good sequence. And when the mannequins start coming after her, they're not moving like humans.
All the sewing machines go on, so there's noise everywhere.
Yeah, and the mannequins move like mannequins. They don't move like humans. And then she starts screaming. The mannequins all fall apart.
Yeah.
So she's on the floor screaming for her boyfriend. The boyfriend comes in to grab her, to help her, and then the ghost grabs her foot and drags her away.
Yeah.
But he then pulls her back and manages.
He wins the tug of war.
He does. Yeah. Meanwhile, we go back to the two girls. They start running downstairs.
And then come out on a roof.
But then the good thing was they were running downstairs but not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
They were running and running and running. They were running for ages down these stairs, but they were always on the same floor. And then when they dive through the door, when they do get downstairs, they're on the roof upstairs. So even the whole building's haunted now. But I did quite like that. I thought that was a quite neat little touch.
This ghost has got powers, man.
Yeah, they're running downstairs but end up on the roof is what's happened. And they get trapped on the roof. The door slams behind them. The ghost is then out there with them. And he manages to push one of them off the roof.
Yeah.
She manages to push one of them off the roof.
Tin Chow off the roof.
Yeah, to her death. The other one watches her fall.
And then goes and hides.
She goes and hides behind like a water tank.
Yeah, it's like a water tank on
the roof. And then she gets lifted up by her hair.
Plucked by the head.
Pushed into the water tank, and we hear her drowning from the outside of the water tank. So we're running out of characters rapidly now. Yeah. I'm presuming Yen Mao was a ghost because we never see him again.
No, he was taken.
He was taken at the start. So all we've got left now is the couple.
Yeah.
And the reporter, obviously, in a different time zone. Who we cut back to now? We cut back to the reporter. this is the reveal, I guess, or the start of the reveal.
She's looking for clues.
She's looking for clues,
She's
and
looking
she
at
finds
old Facebook and
she finds a photo.
Weibo posts.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. She finds a photo and she says, "There's 6 students in this photo. But only 5 were ever mentioned in the news report."
Yeah.
I think that was the first time where she kind of started to realise that maybe this has happened twice. The couple are they managed to get outside. They've escaped the college, and they're now outside in the street. And they start following the girl who just fell off the roof, because they don't know that she's fallen off the roof. And they're kind of like following. She tells them to follow her, which they start doing.
Oh, is that what happened? I was
Yes.
really confused.
Yeah, so this is the girl who fell off the roof. They, as far as they know, she's just their friend.
Yeah.
So they start following her, and then the guy's like, "This is weird. She's leading us somewhere where we don't want to go, presumably back to the bridge."
Yeah.
So he's like, "No, we need to run the other way. This is freaky." And so they start to turn around, and then the girl gets dragged back and pulled through the air. It was really good, I thought. It looked really nice. She literally goes flying through the air into the darkness.
I think I might have missed a bit there because we saw the roof girl wasn't dead.
That's after.
Yeah, I think the orders confused me.
Yeah.
The fact that we saw her they saw her as an image to follow, but I was confused as to who it was, basically.
It was her.
Yeah, okay.
Because she had yellow shorts on. And then we reveal that she isn't dead. She did fall off the roof, but she's landed on something and she survived.
Soft concrete.
Yeah. And we find out why she survived in a minute. She tries to call her friend who has just been drowned, so obviously that doesn't work. And her phone's not working. And she can't figure out why her phone's not working. And then suddenly she's on the bridge.
Everyone's back at the bridge.
Everyone's back at the bridge, just all of a sudden. Even her dead mate's there. She's crying. She's all wet. She's crying. The ghost is also there.
Yeah.
Everybody's there.
And so the girl who drowned in the water tank is now basically being puppeted by the bridge ghost
from behind.
Yeah. And so Sin Chow, who fell off the roof, is now back on the bridge faced with this zombie friend ghost girl.
So she runs away. She runs up the steps. And just as she gets to the top of the steps, she is pulled backwards.
Yeah.
And that's the end of her. The reveal of this movie comes at this point, because we're back with the reporter. And now, correct, I might be wrong completely here. So
I think she looked, just to set it up, I think she'd looked on the CCTV, she'd seen 6 people leave the door.
Yes.
And gone.
The news said only there was 5.
Yeah, all the reports say there was only 5. So who's that 6th person?
Yes. But it's revealed at this point that this has happened twice before, in 2012 and 2016. I've written here, but I don't know if I'm right, that we were watching both stories at the same time.
Parts, I think
parts of it were happening.
The wall that was being pulled over our eyes, I think some of the bits we'd seen were from 2012.
Yes. But what has definitely happened is that one of the girls was in both.
Yeah.
She was in 2012. This is the girl who got pushed off the roof.
Yeah, Sin Chow.
She was in 2012, and then she went back and did it again in 2016. The reason she's done that is because she works for the ghost, or she's being possessed by the ghost.
She's cut a deal with the ghost.
She's cut a deal with the ghost to bring more people every 4 years. She's going to bring more. She's going to bring 5 people every 4 years.
Yeah. Because the reporter finds a photo from 2012.
Yeah.
And Sin Chow's in it.
Yes.
And she's
also in the 2016
but she
photo.
Again, this might be the subtitles' fault. It's kind of revealed backwards because the reporter's like, "Oh, that's not G. That's not Sanu.
Yeah.
But that is Sin Chow.
Sin Chow. Yeah.
Oh, this is from a different time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really loose reveal. Yeah. I think the subtitles definitely didn't help it. The boy from the couple then confronts, what's her name, Sin Chow?
Yeah.
Because they're obviously ex-boyfriend and girlfriend.
We get a flashback now to the when they're setting up the courage test, and it's her basically saying, "You ditched me. I know you're doing something with Sanu," and he's like, "Well, we were on a break or whatever, you know." And she says, "Well, I'm a postgraduate student. I've been here for
forever.
4 years, 5 years. You're a bloody fresher or whatever."
Yeah.
You know, we see this argument anyway.
His girlfriend then gets killed in front of him. I don't exactly remember how, but he then runs away. And he starts hearing voices in his head.
Yeah, they're cornered, aren't they?
Yeah, he gets cornered.
She gets killed.
Yeah, gets killed. He then gets cornered by Sin Chow and the ghost.
Who basically reveals her role in all this.
Yeah, so she's being held against her will for the last 4 years. 5 people must die on this night.
Yeah.
There's only one left that needs to die, and that's him or her.
Yeah.
One of them's got to go.
He doesn't want to die. He crumbles now. He's
die.
like, I don't want to die. I'm a young, virile, fit young man.
So she says to him, "Will you kill to keep yourself alive?"
Yeah.
Which is a Saw quote.
She's like, well, if you don't want to die, do
me. I'm happy to die.
I
have had enough of being possessed for the last 4 years. Kill me off. If you can kill me off, we're fine.
You take my place.
The ghost
she sets out the terms, doesn't she?
And we don't see which she chooses. The ghost then appears on the screen in full as a jump scare to us, and the film cuts to black. And we cut back to the reporter. She then reveals this happens every 4 years, always on the leap day. Guess what today is? Today's the leap day.
Yeah, her cameraman's like, I'm just going to go and set up the shoot that we're doing on the bridge.
And she's like, we probably shouldn't do this today because this is the leap day. This is really bad.
And I'd written about 20 minutes ago, if not before. Well, we've never seen this camera guy's face.
No.
But it's done well because he's a camera guy.
Yeah, we don't need to see his face.
Yeah. And I like that they went to the effort of making a point of the security guard earlier.
Yeah.
Saying I don't want to be on camera because it's just softening that little twist of it,
absolutely.
It? Which I'm sure you've guessed by now if you're listening.
Do you want to reveal it?
The camera guy who's working with the reporter is G.
Yeah.
Who was the survivor from 4 years ago.
Yes, absolutely. He's now filming people on the bridge.
So they're basically doing a reenactment of 4 years ago.
He's meeting up with some people that we'd never see.
Yeah, they've hired, I guess, some
people
jobbing actors, like in a recreation of the...
So the last scene of the film is him looking through his camera. We can hear these people in the distance counting
as they're
going up the stairs, and they get to 14, and the film ends.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't mention that he knocked the reporter out, by the way.
The ghost did that.
Oh, was it?
The ghost grabbed her. Just before that scene cuts away, the ghost just grabs her out of nowhere.
Oh, so you think the people that died were the people on the bridge plus the reporter?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got news for you, mate. You should have watched the post-credits
scene. Oh, okay. I did not realise there would be any. Apologies. I watched this quite late last night and I was like, I really want to go to bed. Go on, tell me post-credits.
Because there's 2. There's not just one,
hell.
there's 2.
I've learned this trick on Netflix as well, is to wait until the trailer things come up at the bottom, and I didn't do it.
And
go on.
The first one is that the camera comes back and the reporter is coming round.
Okay.
She's bound. She's
alive.
Tape over her mouth. Someone walks into the room. We just see feet, jeans. It's G.
Yeah. Okay.
And he rips the tape off her mouth and says, "I need your help to break the cycle."
Okay.
So presumably he is going to offer her the deal.
Okay. The deal that he got.
Yeah, because he wants out. I guess. 4 years is enough for anyone to be possessed and haunted by this.
Agreed.
And then there's another one which I really didn't understand. Right at the end, which is someone counting down from 5 to 1, and the dead ghost girl just says, "It's your turn." I think it's just a scare for the audience.
No, it's just an audience scare.
But yeah, I don't know why that had to be a post-credit scene. So I actually think that's a nicer ending if he's coming back into the report.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's got the circuity.
Circuity, good word.
I'm not sure if I said it right, but I know what I mean.
Circularity?
Yeah, maybe that'll do.
What do you think?
It's a really difficult one because I don't think this is a bad film.
No.
I think it's got a good gimmick. It's perhaps an overly complicated curse.
Yes.
And it's got some good, tense scenes in. But it's really difficult to follow.
It really is.
And
it's
that's
a shame
not necessarily the filmmaker's fault. Which we've only come across this issue a couple of times, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Target springs to mind.
Yes.
100%. I think this is a better... If I knew Mandarin, this would be a better film. Because honestly, the subtitling is so rudimentary.
Yeah, it's just...
I feel like there's a lot left on the table.
Yeah, I agree. And it doesn't make them appear like it's a well-written movie.
Yeah.
I think if you put a decent dub over it, you'd probably get it right. You dub this movie into English, and it makes it a completely different movie.
Yeah, maybe.
The subtitles do let it down, because genuinely, this is a decent horror movie. This is going to... If some people who don't do a lot of horror movies are going to get scared by this, there are some genuinely good horror sequences in this movie.
There's some good scares. There's really good atmosphere.
The sequence in the bathroom is a really good horror sequence. The bit with the mannequins and the wigs, that's really good. The bit where she gets pulled backwards through the air, I really liked that. There's some genuinely good horror movie moments in this film. Like you say, the curse is a little bit complex, maybe too complex. But I could see this getting an American remake at some point.
I don't think it's too lazy a comparison, but you can see. Yeah, I 100% can see it getting an American remake.
Yeah.
You know, there are like Ringu vibes of this movie,
absolutely.
isn't it? That is from that cut, isn't it? You know, even the ghost girl is that kind of design, isn't it?
It's a wet black-haired girl.
Yeah, exactly. You know, she fell into a river off a bridge. What else
in
she
a
gonna
white
go
nightie.
for? There's just, from the point of view we're watching this at, you know, the characters are really thin, but I really don't want to belabor that point, because I don't necessarily think that is the fault of the film and the filmmakers. We're judging this from a really weak position.
It's really hard, because we've got to try and judge this movie on. We can't judge it on its acting, and we can't judge it on its writing, because we haven't seen either of those two things. I don't know if those guys were acting well. They appeared to be doing a good job.
I don't think no one stuck out in this movie, and I've gone, oh, that's...
No, but we couldn't understand what they were saying either. So, and I cannot overestimate how bad those subtitles are.
Yeah, they're rudimentary.
They have not been. It's not been translated well. The fact that it's called a female ghost bridge, that would not be. That's not in the script.
No,
that bridge has a better name than that. But we just don't get to see it, and unfortunately, that's down to the fault of the really bad subtitling. Yeah. But as a movie, as a horror movie, it's not bad. There are scares in this movie that would scare people.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What do you think your experience of this movie would be if you turn the subtitles off? You just watched it.
Just watch it. I think you would have no fucking clue what was happening.
No, I think you would.
Well, you wouldn't get the twist.
No.
The whole end of the film you would not get that.
Yeah, you might struggle with the...
But the scares are still there.
But then there's enough things that come up on the screen to tell you that your time periods...
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't get the twist at the time.
No, you
wouldn't. But I think you would get...
Clue.
I just don't know if apart from that explaining the twist, I don't know what the subtitles are adding to this. Maybe I'm giving ourselves too much credit, but I think if you were to try and watch this,
you might be right,
without
because
the subtitles, you're still getting.
That's really interesting.
I think you're still getting what the curse is, and
that's really interesting, because you're right. I think because there's no dialogue in here that's important. It's just people being scared of this ghost. Yeah. So if you cut all the dialogue away, and maybe just leave the news report when that's subtitled off the internet. Just leave that in, so I get a little bit of explanation of what's going on. Yeah, you could watch this film without the subtitles.
And you might not get that the curse triggers with this extra step at midnight, but you don't need that detail. Because you'd be watching this without the subtitles, so you think, okay, I understand that at this point in time, if you go away up the stairs and then there's a ghost there.
It's not even important that it's that point in time. It doesn't matter that it's a leap year, that it has to be on a leap year. You could just have it that these people climb up the stairs and the ghost is behind them. So yeah,
I do just wonder, did the subtitles actually actively take away from this rather than...
I think they did. I genuinely think they did. I think that this would make me think this is a bad movie if I hadn't done a lot of these movies before.
Yeah.
Just by the fact that the dialogue and the subtitles are so poorly written. I think it does take something away from it. Yeah. But I think, genuinely, I do think there is some good scares in this movie.
There are, yeah.
And it isn't a bad horror movie. It's just, it's really, really let down.
We've seen some bad horror movies on this show, and I'm not sure this is one of them.
We haven't seen many scares. We have never been truly, proper good scare sequences on this. Maybe a couple. Under the Shadow springs to mind. But... yeah, I genuinely think there's some good scares in this movie, and that's all you really want from a Taiwanese horror movie. How does a Taiwanese horror movie end up on Netflix? How has this got there?
I don't know.
Complete. And do you think Netflix have made these subtitles, or do you think?
No, I don't.
I think Netflix would do it better.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this would have just been
it's just been
contracted
shit, really. It's probably coming a bundle with.
And,
It's probably coming a bundle with a load of other stuff that they wanted, and it's just filling out content.
Yeah,
nobody's supposed to watch.
Probably an AI has translated it.
Yeah, Netflix have no. They don't care if you watch this or not. This is just content filler. This is just like put some more horror movies on your system. Okay, here's one.
I mean, I'm not saying I'd rush back to watch this, but I'm glad I watched it. I got something from this movie.
It's not a bad movie. The story's there. The story's decent. The twist's unnecessary at the end, probably. It could have been done a lot better. But again, that could be let down by the subtitles.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset to see an American remake of this at some point. And I wouldn't also be surprised if it happened.
I think it's a decent gimmick.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about it?
I think it's the atmosphere. You know, it's the tension. There is tension. There is atmosphere, and you've seen movies like this before, but this is still just because it's not that original. It still does it well.
I think the best thing about it is the fact that it has got some jump scenes in it and some genuinely scary sequences in, which a lot of these cheap horror movies don't have.
Yeah.
What would you change about it? I think that's an easy one. You've either got to put a dub on it, or you've got to do a better subtitle.
But putting that aside, and I know they made a joke of it, it would be nice to see some people milling around in the background of this movie.
Yeah, or at least explain why there isn't.
And making it feel like, or go,
you don't have to have these kids don't have to be.
This university's shut down for winter.
Could have shut down in 2012, and then
or it's abandoned.
It's abandoned, and we've just gone here to do this curse thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that these people lived and worked in this unit and there's literally nobody there was silly. Yeah. But that's a budgetary thing.
Oh yeah, I understand why it is.
Yeah. But it could have been done better, I think, just by a slight change to the story. Should we talk stream table?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's an interesting one.
It is going to be tricky, potentially.
Shall I read up from the bottom?
Okay, yeah.
Do I need to do all of them?
I don't know.
Would you want to do that thing? No, let's...
I don't know where I'm going to put this.
Nor do I.
I'm
going to read the whole thing. Currently at 21 is Smart Christmas. 20 is Dangerous Lies. 19 is Theatre of Fear, aka The Midnight Horror Show. Number 18 is Needle in a Time Stack. Number 17 is Another Round. Number 16 is The Mansion. Number 15 is Tramps. Number 14 is The Ledge. Number 13 is Take the 10. Number 12 is Rose Island. 11, Go-Karts. The top 10 of the current bottom of the stream table. Number 10, The Cleanse. Number 9, You Are Not My Mother. Number 8, The Giver. Number 7, Double World. Number 6, The Legacy of a White-Tailed Deer Hunter. Number 5 is Headshot. Number 4 is Below Zero. Number 3 is Nature Reborn. Number 2 is Old People. And currently at the top of the stream is The Decline. Where the hell does this go?
I'm looking somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Because it's clearly nowhere near the worst movies we've seen
it's not in
this
the bottom.
season.
It's not at the bottom.
I don't think it's got enough for me to crack the top 10.
No.
So I'm looking around sort of Take the 10, Rose Island. I'm looking around somewhere between 11th and 14th.
Okay, let's look. So 14th is The Ledge, 13th is Take the 10, 12 is Rose Island, 11 is Go-Karts. It is in there somewhere, you're right.
I mean,
really hard.
My gut's telling me maybe between Rose Island and Take the 10.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I genuinely have no idea where it goes. I think... Do I think Rose Island's better than this movie? No.
Both very flawed in very different ways.
I think I'd go between Go-Karts and Rose Island.
Do you know what? I'm not against that. I'm not... Yeah.
It's somewhere there.
It's fine.
I'm not bothered either way.
If you want to...
And again, the same, I'm not bothered if you want to put it below Rose Island, if you feel strongly on that.
No, I don't.
Okay. Should we put it there?
I'm
still not genuinely not
sure
12th.
That's where it goes. Yeah, I'm fine with it going 12th.
I feel like we might get some stick on that. But we'll see. Right. Should we pick next week's film?
Let's do it.
There's one wild card left to play played this season.
There is, yeah.
Jordan Shenton.
Yes.
Needs to play his wild card. Me too, vaguely. He has played his wild card now.
Oh, excellent.
Wild card. He has picked a movie called A Futile and Stupid Gesture.
Okay.
Any idea what this is?
I do vaguely know what it is.
I think this is going to be right in your wheelhouse.
Okay.
This is a comedic telling of the story of National Lampoon's success.
Okay.
So it's set in the 1970s and the synopsis says, in the 1970s and 80s, National Lampoon's success and influence creates a new media empire overseen in part by the brilliant and troubled Douglas Kenney. So it's basically the story of how National Lampoon became a thing.
Sweet.
It is a Netflix original. It's been on Netflix for a few years now. It's 2018 came out. There's people in here playing Chevy Chase. Joel McHale plays Chevy Chase.
Amazing.
In this movie. There's loads of cameos in it as well. Seth Green's in it. Domhnall Gleeson's in it. Will Fort's in it. This feels like this shouldn't be at the bottom of the stream, but for some reason it is. So it's going to be interesting to find out why.
Yeah, this is going to be a strange one maybe because no one's going to know about this movie.
No,
I've never heard of this movie.
But it's just, you feel like...
But you kind of feel like, given the subject matter and some of the people in it, you should have.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd never heard of it. Matt Lucas is in this movie. And Natasha Lyonne's in this movie.
Okay.
There's just names all over the place. Ed Helms in this movie.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, there's got a heck of it. There's a massive cast list. Max Greenfield's in it.
Oh,
Joe Latrulio.
He's been on the show before.
So is Joe Latrulio.
Yeah. Brilliant. Bring it on.
At least 3 people who have been in the show before, just on those list of names I've just read out. There's 102 people credited in this movie.
Oh, it's a bit different from this week.
Just a bit. And they've all got character names. Fascinating. I feel like this feels like it should have been a bigger movie than it was. So, go out and watch A Futile and Stupid Gesture. Jordan Shenton has picked it as his wild card. In the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com, and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On the website, you'll find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables, loads of other cool stuff, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
Nightgown.
Probably can. Not going to lie.
Sure you can.
After you've done all of that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. On there, for a couple of quid every month, you will get early access to episodes. You will get bonus episodes. You will get a newsletter that Nick writes every month. And if you come in at the top level, you can do what Jordan's just done, play your wild card and pick the movie we're going to watch. And if you get the best one of the season, you'll win a prize. After you've done all of that, head over to Discord. The Discord link will be in the bottom of the show notes. In the Discord, where you will find a group of wonderful, fun-loving people who love movies and love each other and love to talk to each other. And we just have a great time in the Discord.
They'll love you as well.
They will.
Just in a nice way.
Yeah.
You'll make friends.
You will.
What's life all about? It's about making friends.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Yeah. So come and join the Discord. The Discord link will be in the show notes.
If you can spare a few minutes, please consider leaving us a review and a rating. Anywhere you can review and rate podcasts, we are on all those places. They are places like Podbean, Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, loads of others. We're on them. Find us, please.
Do it. Do all of that. Then go out and watch A Futile and Stupid Gesture. And we'll be back next Monday for The Wave and next Thursday for The Movie Show.
Cheers!
Bye!